Well, my name's Angela Casler, and I'm originally from South Korea, and I was adopted when I was 10 months old, and by a wonderful adoption agency called Holt International out of Oregon. And my parents just received this little picture, and they got to pick out, between 10 pictures, and they chose this little chia pet. My mother said, she said, when you got off the plane, you were the only baby not screaming and crying. So I grew up on Long Island, New York, and I grew up in a very wealthy Jewish neighborhood. So all my friends are Jewish, and my family's not Jewish. My parents are actually my dad is third generation Danish, and my mother is second generation English. And they have 3 of their own children, adopted me, and then 4 years later adopted another brother of mine. So we had 5 kids in our family. And so it looked really funny when we'd go out together because, they'd have 2 little Asian kids, and all of their kids have blonde hair and green eyes. And so it was kind of a smorgasbord of events, So as I grew up, really as a child, I always knew I was adopted. I always knew I was from Korea. And I was really lucky because my parents used to take me to the Methodist Korean church. And there they used to dress up in Korean outfits and also cook Korean food and get a chance to see the drum dancing and the fan dancing. And so that was really neat. And I got to learn how to cook some Korean food like bulgogi and things of that nature. But I've never actually been back to my country, and I don't know too much about it either. And so I hope to do that one day, is to do a pilgrimage with my brother. And I didn't really know that I was different until I was on my own, went to college in a little itty-bitty town in Missouri. And I think that's the very first time I ever felt different. And I was one of the first students ever admitted into this college that was a minority status. And at the time, I didn't really understand what that meant, being a minority, because I grew up with all my friends are either Jewish, Italian, or Irish, and then I go to school and I'm a minority. And so I wrote a little story for them, and I had this really kind of fame and fortune status on campus. I was the only minority on campus. And so that was really interesting. And I never really felt prejudice before in my life, and I didn't really know how to deal with it until I was really grown, until I was 18 years old. So I think that really helped me understand how people see me as maybe a first perception or a first impression, and it helps me to understand what they're thinking when they're talking to me. And I really think I kind of freak people out because I don't have an accent, and when I do talk, sometimes I can talk with a real strong New York accent, and people are like, what is going on here? So yeah, that doesn't really always work out really well. But so I think that after that, I moved to Europe for a long time and lived there for 10 years, and I felt really comfortable because they call you an Auslander, and that means that you're just a foreigner. And to me, I always just felt like a foreigner in America, and then being a foreigner in Europe really felt more comfortable, because in America you want to feel like you belong, or that you are treated like an American, because I'm a very patriotic, very proud American actually. So I felt really comfortable over there, and I lived there for 10 years, and then I got married and decided to move back to the United States. And one of the first things I told my husband was I was concerned about moving back to the United States because I would be treated like an Asian again. So, he said, well, I'm sure it'll be okay. And when we did move back here, it was 2005. And, Chico is such a nice town. It's a town where you can say hello to people, and you can wave at somebody and smile, and you don't have to worry about getting an attitude about it like you do in New York. They're like, who are you talking to, or who you looking at, instead of here in Chico, people are so nice. So I've never felt prejudice here in this town, and I do feel that in America, people really concentrate on people's differences instead of seeing everybody as just a melting pot as a nation. And so that's been one of my struggles, probably, to try to have people, you know, like those little boxes that you check when you fill out an application, and you have to select your ethnicity, you know. And so I check the Asian American, but, you know, I always feel that when it separates me, it makes me put into a category, and for me, that category, I don't even know what it means to be Asian, actually, as far as my culture is concerned, or my mannerisms, or really my own beliefs and value systems are grown up in an Anglo-Saxon culture. So sometimes it makes me feel like I live in two different worlds, that the perception of me as an Asian and then my own perception as an American. And so sometimes I do struggle with that. And you know, I always wish there was a little box that just had proud-American on there, you know, and you can just select that box no matter what you are, you know. So, but I'm really proud to be an immigrant. At times I thought that I could, you know, not tell people I was an immigrant, that sometimes I would want to make it up that I was always born here and lived here and had been raised here, because people oftentimes ask me that, if I was born in America. And I think if I were born in America, people would accept me more as an American. But as an immigrant, even though, you know, one of my proudest days is being naturalized. And when I was 8 years old, standing in that courtroom with all of these other people that were becoming naturalized that day, it just was something I will never forget, that I just felt that I'm the luckiest person in the whole world to live in this great country. You know, I think that part of what I see as there's a difference in people, and it's not necessarily immigration, and it's really about what are your work ethics, and are you willing to work hard. And this is a nation where you can succeed no matter who you are or what socioeconomic background you come from. And so that's what I think makes America so great, is that everybody has the chance to be successful, no matter what that means to that person. And so, you know, I think with my parents, they spent a lot of time. My mom always worked, you know, so she was really our role model. And she just taught us, really work hard, go for your dreams, and then keep going for, you know, you can accomplish anything that you want to. And so I think that being raised like that, and having a really positive outlook on life, and being able to really go for whatever it is that you want to achieve, I've been able to do that. I've had just a fantastic upbringing, and I've been really lucky.
Awesome.
I think that my wish as an immigrant is that people can immigrate to this country legally, and that they can take advantage of all of that America offers, as far as education goes, as far as being able to work in any industry that you wish to, as far as being able to help other people. We're a nation that just helps other people in so many ways. I serve as a board of directors member for the Torres Community Shelter here in town, and my role there has just phenomenally changed my life, about what it means to be homeless, and that it could happen to anyone. And the role that we play here at Chico State by reaching out to other people is really a phenomenal opportunity to be able to change people's lives and make a difference. And you know, maybe they didn't have parents that had, you know, you had a great upbringing or anything like that nature, and you could help that person make that next step to being who it is they want to be. And so I think that this country that we live in provides so many opportunities to be able to do that. And one day I wish that we don't really see each other as being diverse. One day that is what makes America unique, and that is what makes America such a blessing to be a part of and, you know, be a citizen of. So that's my wish for one day.